Hello, my dear brothers and sisters. I'm Father Diego, and this is the message of the Gospel for today, Tuesday, March the 17th. We listen from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verses 21 to 35. Chapter 18, verses 21 to 35. Peter approached Jesus and asked him, "Lord, if my brother sins against me, how often must I forgive him? As many as 7 times?" Jesus answered, "I say to you, not 7 times, but 77 times. That is why the kingdom of heaven may be linked to a king who decided to settle accounts with his servants. When he began the accounting, a debtor was brought before him who owed him a huge amount. Since he had no way of paying it back, his master ordered him to be sold, along with his wife, his children, and all his property, in payment of the debt. At that, the servant fell down, did him homage, and said, 'Be patient with me, and I will pay you back in full.' Moved with compassion, the master of that servant let him go and forgave him the loan. When that servant had left, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him a much smaller amount. He seized him and started to choke him, demanding, 'Pay back what you owe.' Falling to his knees, his fellow servant begged him, 'Be patient with me, and I will pay you back.' But he refused. Instead, he had him put in prison until he paid back the debt. Now when his fellow servants saw what had happened, they were deeply disturbed and went to their master and reported the whole affair. His master summoned him and said to him, 'You wicked servant, I forgave you your entire debt because you begged me to. Should you not have had pity on your fellow servant, as I had pity on you?' Then in anger his master handed him over to the torturers until he should pay back the whole debt. So will my heavenly Father do to you, unless each of you forgives his brother from his heart." Very well. As Jesus answers Peter's question about forgiveness, which is the question from the whole Christian community, remember that Peter represents the whole community. Jesus offers a parable as a way to explain, or better, as a way to offer different meanings to this particular aspect of Christian life, which is forgiveness. So let me propose to you 3 aspects, 3 points to reflect on this gospel. First of all, forgiveness is an act of freedom. As we see in this parable, the king represents someone who is powerful, someone who justly has the right to demand from his servant to pay back his debt. But because he is sympathetic with his servant, moved with compassion, says the gospel, he is merciful, he freely chooses to offer forgiveness to his servant. So, first of all, forgiveness is an act of freedom. Second, the effect of this act of freedom from this king to his servant is immediately the release of any punishment to his fellow servant. So forgiveness sets us free from any kind of punishment. And the third aspect, as the parable goes on, and we see the lack of compassion from this servant to his fellow servant, his unwillingness to forgive his debt, we might say that this effect of forgiveness in our lives, which is freedom, only unfolds whenever we offer forgiveness to others. Otherwise, the effects of anger, resentment, the desire of revenge will always chase us, will always follow us, right? So the effects of forgiveness, which is freedom, that's the third point, only unfolds whenever we offer forgiveness to others. Let us remember this section of the Our Father. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Have a wonderful day with these 3 points about forgiveness, and I'll see you tomorrow with the message of the gospel. Coffee! Blessings! Have a nice day. Bye.